Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. How common people are doing the uncommon. What do you picture when you think of a supernatural being? A creature of love and light? A greater power? A mythical deity or alien with superpowers? What about your neighbor? Your boss? Your bus driver? What about you? Joe Dispenza has decades of research and experience under his belt that all point to the same conclusion. Normal human beings are fully equipped to go beyond our everyday senses and access the unseen energies of the universe. If being supernatural is defined as being able to affect the world beyond our physical abilities, well, we are literally built to become supernatural. All it takes is understanding, intention, and practice. You'll learn how the world is so much more than we can sense with just our regular 5 senses. You'll discover how the mind and body work together, how your mind can directly affect your body and the world around you, and a specific technique for supernaturally changing your life and achieving your dreams. Matter and energy. Remember learning about Einstein in physics class? E equals mc squared. For those of us who need a refresher, that equation describes how mass becomes energy and vice versa. Essentially, any tangible mass that travels faster than the speed of light becomes pure energy. It can't hold its material form. The equation also shows how everything that contains mass is a certain amount of energy just in stationary form. Most of your life involves being matter, being a tangible being. But you also give off energy, and because of that, you can affect both your body and the world around you by merely focusing your consciousness. The French researcher René Péoc first demonstrated this very phenomenon in 1995. He built a robot with random choice generator software installed. The robot traveled forward, choosing to turn left or right at random times. Péoc built it to turn right 50% of the time and to turn left the other half of the time. Obviously, we can't show you any graphics in this blink. Instead, imagine a rectangle on the ground in front of you. When Péoc placed his robot in the rectangular space, its path went all over the rectangle. So, in that rectangle you're imagining, you'd see random jagged lines traced throughout the entire space. Péoc then hatched a group of chicks and imprinted those chicks on the robot. If the chicks had been given free rein, they'd have followed the robot along its randomly chosen paths. But instead, the chicks were placed in an enclosure just to the right of the robot's rectangular space. The chicks could see the robot but couldn't move toward it or follow it, despite their instincts to do so. This is where things get really interesting. So imagine again a rectangle on the ground with the imprinted chicks and a smaller rectangle to the right of the bigger one. When the robot was again placed in the larger rectangular space, its pathways were all concentrated on the right half of the rectangle, the side closest to the chicks. There were no lines on the left side of the rectangle anymore. Only lines on the right side. This was the same robot and the same program that previously had produced the random pathways that covered the entire rectangular space. The only difference in the experiment was the inclusion of the imprinted chicks. Their intention to be close to the robot they'd imprinted upon was the only difference. The conclusion? The intention and focus the chicks placed on the robot were actually capable of altering its path. Incredible, right? What could you do with the right focus and intention? It's truly the definition of becoming supernatural, affecting the world around and within you using only your focus. Okay, it's slightly more complicated than just thinking, of course. We'll get into more detail on how to actually affect the world around you later. For now, let's look at how such a thing is even possible. It's all thanks to energy and the quantum realm. The quantum realm of infinite possibilities. The quantum realm isn't just a relic of sci-fi stories. It's an actual realm containing infinite possibilities. This is the real-life multiverse, the place where everything is happening at once, every possibility is in existence, and time is no longer linear. It's a realm of energy, beyond our day-to-day experience of life, but fully encompassing both every moment of our lives and every other possible life we could be leading. It sounds a little too wondrous to be true. But don't worry, it can be difficult to wrap your mind around, even for those who've had multiple experiences accessing the quantum. Scientists have proven its existence using various experiments. Have you ever heard of electrons disappearing and reappearing seemingly at random? That's because electrons move between our everyday world and the quantum, allowing them to disappear from our measuring abilities, existing purely in the quantum, and then reappearing in a different location in our physical realm. The quantum can't be measured or felt with our normal senses. It can only be accessed by and as a consciousness because it's a realm of energy and light rather than matter. We already know animals can sense pieces of our world that we can't. The most commonly known is the idea of light. Humans can only see light within a very limited range, the visible light spectrum as we call it. But some animals and insects see beyond or outside of our range. For example, some snakes and frogs can see infrared light. But just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Sensing the quantum realm is similar. Humans can't physically sense it, but we can access it by training our minds. Dispenza himself, as well as many of his students and study participants, has accessed the quantum and had supernatural experiences that go beyond our normal existence. They describe out-of-body experiences, connections with their past and future selves, and wondrous feelings of light, love, and connection to everyone and everything in the world. These experiences directly affect our minds, our worldview, and our brainwave frequencies. And they also affect our bodies because of how incredibly connected our minds and bodies are. The connection between mind and body. Are you familiar with the idea of a mind-body connection? If you don't think you've heard of such a thing before, consider the placebo effect, a well-known concept. It's when someone's given a non-active pill, a placebo, but they feel better anyway. This is the mind-body connection at work. Our minds are so powerful that we can actually affect our physical bodies with just our thoughts. How does this biophysically work? Well, when you have a thought, it triggers the release of chemical signals in your brain. Those signals then trigger feelings within your body, which in turn activate more thoughts in your brain, and on and on. Unless something happens to disrupt this cycle, your body goes into a feedback loop. And the more often your body does something, the more you ingrain that pattern into your cells. It's what happens when you go into autopilot. Your body says, "Hey, I've done this action 1,000,000 times before. No need to consciously think about it this time around." Many of us don't know this is how our body works. So the patterns our bodies learn are unconsciously chosen. They're things we do every day, like brushing our teeth or driving to work. Mundane tasks that then turn our minds off so we live in a state of waking unconsciousness, not fully attending to the world around us or within us. It's not fun to imagine. Living a life mostly on autopilot seems kind of sad, right? Now consider what happens when you experience a threat. Your body enters a stressed state, becoming hyper-aware and ready to freeze, flee, or fight. Your body naturally exits this stress state after a few minutes if nothing else happens and the stressor goes away. But in our current world, most of our stressors are ever present. We have cell phones that keep us wired into work at all hours. We have small children we're constantly worrying about, or we end up caring for our elders. We worry about making enough money to cover all our family's needs each month, a recurring and never-ending cycle. The result? Our bodies are constantly worrying, stuck in a feedback loop that keeps our brains producing more stressed-out chemical signals, causing our bodies to feel those upset emotions, prompting our brains to think more worrying thoughts, and on and on. You can imagine how harmful it is for your body if you're constantly stuck in survival mode. In fact, you don't have to imagine. You know what it does to your body. When your body is constantly in fight or flight mode, it takes energy away from your immune system, so you're at a higher risk of getting sick. Your ability to think creatively shuts down, and all your focus is directed toward the perceived threat and immediate action. If you stay in this state long enough, it becomes ingrained in your body. Then, even if the threat goes away, your body stays stuck in the cycle of fear and anxiety, which wreaks havoc on your health. You literally make yourself sick. Okay, so yeah, this might seem like a lot of doom and gloom, but there is a positive to all this. Harnessing the mind-body connection. So, you've heard that you can get stuck in a negative, harmful loop of thoughts and emotions. But you can also enter a positive, helpful loop. You can actively seek out and cultivate healing emotions within yourself like love, gratitude, acceptance, and joy. In doing so, you retrain your body from being stuck in past fears to instead generate energy within yourself and heal your body from the inside. Your mind is capable of directly affecting both your body and other energy in the world. Remember the power of the chick's intentions? They altered a random choice-generating robot's path just with their desire to be close to the robot. By focusing your intentions and opening yourself up to the quantum, you can directly interact with the energies that flow throughout the entire world. And how can you do it? Well, meditation is one of your strongest tools. There are countless sources about how to meditate. Dispenza includes several meditation practices in his book as well. But for the purposes of this blink, we'll focus on one of the unique mindfulness tools Dispenza includes in his workshops and practices: a mind movie. This is similar to a vision board and uses the concepts we covered earlier to change the world around you and help you achieve your dreams. The mind movie is a simple concept on paper. Choose a song you'll never get tired of listening to, and then set video clips and images of your ideal life to it. You can include text in the video, words or sentences that remind you of what you're trying to achieve. The magic then happens in how you use this tool. Remember we talked about feedback loops in the body, where a thought creates a feeling, creates more thoughts, and so on? Well, mind movies work in this way. As you watch the movie, focus on exactly how that future life you want feels. Your body can't tell the difference between a feeling caused by your thoughts or a feeling caused by an external event, which is why those feedback loops we learned about earlier work so well. In terms of mind movies, if your goal is manifesting a vacation, your movie should include clips and images of what you want on your vacation. For example, you might have images related to beaches or mountains. No details about how the trip will come about. Don't worry, the universe will find the right path of delivery. As you watch, imagine the warm sand beneath your feet, or the fresh mountain breeze threading through your hair. Because of the mind-body connection, by truly feeling these feelings, you're training your body to become familiar with what it feels like to live the life that contains the vacation you want. This opens your body to possibility and frees you from the everyday life you've been living, the one of high stress or autopilot we explored earlier. As you experience these feelings and train your body, you start to align your energy with that of the universe where you will be on that vacation soon, or where you have your dream job, or where you found your soulmate. Those lives exist within the quantum realm. Remember, it contains all possibilities, all possible lives you could live. By watching the mind movie and aligning your energies with the life you desire, you're pulling that life from the quantum to connect with the physical realm. One last piece of this practice: watch your mind movie every day, first thing when you wake up and last thing before you go to bed. Your mind is in a more relaxed, receptive state at these times, so the effect of the mind movie increases and you'll achieve the life you're calling in that much sooner. Becoming supernatural just scratches the surface of what human beings are capable of when we become supernatural. But now you've got the mind movie as a tool to start changing your life, and you've got a solid base for understanding the energies of our world and how our minds and bodies work together. As you travel farther along this path, seek out others also practicing becoming supernatural. Numerous studies have shown the statistically significant effects of group meditation and intentions on things like bringing down crime rates. There's a whole realm of possibility and better lives just waiting for us to access it.